flat 7th. Okay, maybe some more instrumentals. Oh man, I promised another instrumental last week that I didn't get to. I got sidetracked with the At the Zoo thing. It is Friday, January 9th. Things are really hot here in California, so I may cut this a little bit short. Not sure how long I can sit here and keep sweating. Although, the guitar has had it before, so. Let's see, what went on this week? A couple of really cool tunes, the ones I was really excited about. The first one, of course, was Bad Weather, the Poco tune that I kind of, hinted a little bit at the melody here. I hope some of you have had a chance to look at some of those videos of Poco and Paul Cotton and Timothy B. Schmidt doing that tune. It's just such a catchy tune. I did talk about in the lesson that the Poco version was kind of unnecessarily stretched out on the record, and I don't know if it was just that they needed more minutes on the record so that it had to be like more than 38 minutes long or something, but it did seem unnecessarily long, but the live versions seem to be trimmed down to manageable. And I really recommend you check out that album from the inside. Some other great tunes on it, and even really the first album too, Picking Up the Pieces. I'm probably gonna have to do something. There's just a little bit of magic in the country, it's worth singing. So let's begin. We're bringing you back down home to Folkside. I think that's how Picking Up the Pieces goes, more or less, the song itself. I had a really cool bootleg, import, called Bluebird Roots. One of the first probably yellow vinyl albums I got. If I'd planned this, I would have had it out here and could have shown it to you. But it had a couple of tunes by Poco, Hard Luck, and which is a lot like Picking Up the Pieces. And then it had some Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young outtakes, Down by the River, and a few other things. Anyhow, I got to get to more country Poco tunes. Been looking at some of their later stuff. Heart of the Night is not grabbing me, so I don't think we're going to get there. But who knows? So again, if you like Poco and you want got some suggestions, get them to me. But looking at Crazy Love and maybe Picking Up the Pieces, and maybe anyway, they're all on that forum post that I put together a little while ago. So. Get off the Poco kick for a little while, Neil, and talk about the other song. This is really interesting, like why this song popped into my head. And it didn't really pop into my head. I got a request from a friend of mine who wondered if I could just record the guitar part so he could put some vocals over it and give it to his kids or grandchildren or something like that. And so I listened to it, and I thought, oh man, I guess I've never done a lesson on it. I'm not sure how come that happened. But it's a really cool and very simple progression of Paul Simon's, but some unusual things, with just the whole story and the original lyrics that I, wasn't aware were there until I listened to their Monterey Pop performance of it from 1969. And there was the line about the bowl of Rice Krispies just ain't what it used to be. And I thought, wow, I wonder why they put that in there. They sort of chuckled, like, comically. And that's because that was one of the original lines from the demo that he made in 1967. So, but that also got me thinking more about other tunes from that album. Same C. going to get fooled twice. Okay, well anyway, sorry, I should plan these things out better. But great album, Bookends. I got to revisit it and thinking about doing Punky's Dilemma. So check that one out. What else happened this week? Doug put together a great lesson on how to use a metronome and how to believe that your metronome is actually doing the right thing, and it's not you. No, it is you. But it takes practice. So I hope everybody takes a look at that and works on better timing. There was a student here earlier today who plays with another one of my students, and his recommendation was, hey, you got to tell him that he needs to start working with a metronome more because he keeps changing beats in the middle of songs and things. So anyway, metronome work, I heavily recommend it. What is coming up next week? I've got a couple of things I did mention last week that I'm trying to get to this. And I didn't get to it. I got sidetracked with At the Zoo. I don't think I finished the story about Kurt and At the Zoo. And so I did, just put together a quick little rough draft of playing through it and sent it off to him. And he said, well, how much do I owe you? I said, it only took a few minutes. I'll run a tab for you. When I get to an hour's worth of stuff, we'll negotiate. So, but I hope maybe I'll pass that on to you guys. If he puts together a cool little video of him singing it, it'll be out for public consumption probably. So, what else? Camp is coming up. We're just like 2 months away from camp. So we've had a few more people sign up. We still have room for about 5. Had one, unfortunately, who had decided had to have hip surgery. Jeff, we're gonna miss you. Going in for hip surgery on early September, and that means probably no flying like the next week, certainly. So anyway, so got a couple spots still. It's not too late to think about joining us and having a blast at the International Guitar Camp. Our 8th one, I think. Is that what I forget now. We had 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and not 20. Right, this is Camp 20, so it's number 8. Yeah. I should know that. Same thing, I should look that up before I start talking, but it doesn't work that way. Had another interesting discussion with the same student earlier today that we were talking about fingerpicking songs, and let me see, it's going to make too much noise. And he was asking about kind of like the history, like when did Paul Simon learn how to fingerpick? Or how did he develop those styles? And I said, well, it was sort of a bluesy thing. He'd heard, I'm sure he'd heard by the early 60s, heard Mississippi John Hurt and a lot of those old blues pickers that they did this kind of Travis picking. And of course that led to talking about the year or so that Paul spent in England, in London, hanging out with the early English folkies, John Renbourn, Bert Jansch, Davey Graham, Al Stewart, Donovan, and they all kind of had things happening. And then of course Davey puts together this cool instrumental. I know I play this every once in a while on the news. But when I was talking to Andrew about it, I was thinking, well, a lot of people want to learn this exactly the way Paul Simon played it, and if you listen to he played, there were a lot of mistakes in what he played. He played wrong notes, and he played, well, not so many wrong notes, bad rhythms. He didn't get always the notes he wanted. Why am I ragging on Paul Simon all of a sudden? Never mind. Shut up and play, right? But my point with Andrew was, when you play this, you have to improvise with it. Okay, that's a little too much. Stay with some chords. Go to the next part. thought this out, I would have had a thumb pick here, because I can't really mute these bass notes. And use my thumbnail. Let's try another part. Now, exactly what I was talking about with Paul Simon's version, that rhythm was really messed up. If I was playing this with the metronome, you'd have said, hey, get with the beat. And I'd say, no. Let me try a different song instead. Okay, let's see. I think that's it for my just couple thoughts I wanted to share with you guys today. And I will. Oh, there's a good chance I will not be back next week. We are trying to still schedule a trip to go visit my son and his wife, who have moved to Portland. I may have mentioned that somewhere along the line. And so, if anybody has suggestions of things I should check out in Oregon, we might be on a road trip, heading through. Probably spend a night in Southern Oregon first, in Ashland maybe, or might visit another relative. I got some other old friends in that area, Jacksonville, and some other relatives I should see in Salem. Anyway, open to suggestions. Oregon travelers, give me some tips. And so I will probably not see you again for 2 weeks.